What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your dog DP. It's another episode of Kingpin Chronicles. The game ain't what it seems out here, y'all. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna give it to you the way it is, y'all. Check it out. Here go the truth. Today I was sitting back thinking about something to get on, and it's I need content, right? It's time for content, man, because I gotta keep y'all coming, man, and give y'all, the stories behind the building of the Kingpin Chronicles. And I'm the host. I got the co-host, Mr. Jeffrey Jed Lee. Wonder Man son, pioneers of crack cocaine in the late '70s, early '80s, all the way up and through the '90s before they triple and double life sentences, man. Unjust sentences. But thank Trump, man. Trump cut them boys loose, man. And we're working on bringing a lot of groundbreaking content and stories that ain't been heard, man. You might have heard about them, but you ain't heard the stories because they have not told them. And we're gonna do our part in helping bring them stories to the forefront, like we did with the Miami Kingpin documentary, the real Scarfaces, where y'all heard, man. If y'all ain't went and got that, man, y'all sleep, man. When I'm talking about fire, I'm talking about fire, man. And it's been a lot of, you can scroll through YouTube and the web and find all kind of stories where people telling you these stories about these dudes, Big Ike, Convertible Bird, Bo Diddley, and Boss Man, right? But for the first time, you hear the story from them, right? So it's a lot of stuff in this three-series documentary that has never been heard, man, and they kind of open your eyes up to the way that we was used, they used us and abused us, man, chewed us up and spit us out into the system, and the brothers went and gave up 25 years or better, man, to the system. So, man, if not for anything, support the brothers, man, and help them to where we already lost Bo Diddley, man. It was hard waiting to get to this point where they could actually put their stories out and start to reap the benefits of and it ain't really benefits, but kind of us paying homage to them, man, for sacrificing themselves so that people like myself, right, would be able to watch their stories, learn from them, right, and do everything I could to not make the mistakes they made. And I actually had the wherewithal to just flat out just walk away and say, man, I'm done taking a chance with risking my life. And just throwing rocks at these people chain gang 'cause they ain't got no problem locking me up, man. They give them three hots in the cot, man, and the lights stay on, man. The lights stay on, trust me. But we're gonna get into a story, man. I'm gonna take y'all back to around, gotta be around 1990, maybe 1991. I know this just when I'm jumping off the porch. I'm around the age of 10 or 11 years old, and my mom had my mom, like I tell y'all, man, my mom was the first gangster I met, man. My mom was the OG, you know what I'm saying? So at the time, she had just came from doing a bid. She went and did a couple years in prison. But she was in the boosting and doing drops and all of that way back in the '80s, man. So like 88, 89, somewhere in there, she got caught up and had to go do a bid. And when she came back home, it was around 90 or 91, somewhere up in there. But when she came home, um, her and my auntie was always partners. My auntie Nisa, they was always partners in crime, right? As long as I can remember. And when she first got out, we moved back with her and we moved with my auntie Nisa until she got on her feet. We got she got her apartment and we moved over by Botley Park, right, which is a new part of town for me. We bouncing all around town. I started off in the projects and we went over there in Dean Mo for a couple years. And when moms get out, we moved back with her and it's back to hood living. So we moved in Harbordale, right? So we moved right on 18th Avenue, I'm at 22nd Avenue and 7th Street, right in the corner in their little apartments. And my auntie wound up, the guy that she was with at the time, he passed away. So she wound up moving actually right down the street from us on West Harbor Drive. So by this time, I was a bad kid, but I had spent a couple years living with my stepdad, and they had kind of straightened us out a little bit. So I wasn't as bad as I was when we was living in the projects earlier and we moved to Demo, but I was still that same little bad love. You know what I'm saying? I just had got slick with it, right? I had got to where that I was smooth now. I'm about 11, 12 years old, but I'm slick with it, right? So uh my auntie Nisi had this boyfriend. She had got this new boyfriend, and his name was Bernard, right? He was a dread, right? What we refer to as a dread in St. Pete is anybody that got that Caribbean accent, right? If you got that Caribbean accent, then you saying bumbleclot and all that there, then you dread, right? But Bernard had told me that he was from Barbados. So Bernard was from Barbados, but he was a dread. Most people would think that when you say dread, we talking about Jamaican, but just any of the Caribbean, with color, dread, because they got that accent, right? So if you got that accent, we were calling you dread. So um Bernard was cool. My auntie was always uh very, very, very like fond of me as her oldest nephew, right? I was my mom's oldest boy. I was the middle child, but I was the oldest boy. So my auntie loved her nephew, right? So I would always be with her if my mom had something to do or if whatever, I would be at her house. I spent a lot of time like spending the nights at her house and just at her house. If it wasn't nothing to do at our house, I would go over there. Can I go over there? If she stopped by, can I go over your house with you? I go over there and hang out with my cousin Alicia, right? And Alicia, me and Alicia grew up more like brother and sister than cousins, right? So Alicia was like my partner in crime. She's a couple years older than me, but she used to hook me up with her homegirls that she went to school with and all that. So I messed with the older girls through my cousin Alicia, and we was just tight like that. We was kind of tight, small, real small, but tight family, right? But Bernard was with my auntie, and my auntie was living good. You know what I'm saying? I used to go down there. I had the good grub. Bernard used to cook. He used to like to cook like fish and seafood and stuff. And man, he just turned me on. He was the first person I seen cook like the whole fish. He used to just take and clean the fish and throw the whole fish on the grill, wrap it up in foil, stuff it with some vegetables, and get it right, right? Bernard was the first that I seen cook fish like that. It made me really, really like fish. But moving forward, and talk about Bernard being the first dread that I met, right? So Bernard took me in just like my auntie did. Me and Bernard wound up being cool. I was a little joker out the hood, you could tell I wasn't bad, but you could tell I was a little hood dude, right? So and I was smart because I knew not to, it just was certain stuff I ain't do as a kid. I was smart enough to be like, nah, y'all go ahead. I'm a chill. I'm be right here till y'all get back. You know what I'm saying? I was that stupid stuff, stealing cars and all that, man. I never was into that. I let my little brother them and all y'all go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'm trying to make me some money. But I can remember one day, my cousin Alicia, I was at the crib, I was at my house. My cousin Alicia come running down there to our crib, and she was like, I'll show you something. So we go outside in the backyard. She go in her pants and pull out this sandwich bag, and the sandwich bag full of big, big rocks. You know what I'm saying? Big, big JoJo's. You know what I'm saying? And it's like half full of money, half full of JoJo's. So I'm like, wait, we know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because we growed up in this drug thing, man. We done been through the '80s, right? So we know what crack is by now. So uh, I'm like, man, where you get that? So she like, Bernard. She was like, man, listen, he got so much of it. I just filled the bag up And so I'm like, man, give me some. She like, nah, you gotta go get your own. You know what I'm saying? This is me, you gotta go get your own. So I'm like, okay, boom. So now when I go to my auntie house, y'all already know, man. I'm on the mean shakedown mission, man. I'm on the shakedown mission, man. As soon as I get a chance, man, I'm shaking this bitch down, man. So I'm shaking the house down, right? But I can't never find no dope or no fire. I mean no dope or no money. All I find is fire. Bernard, everywhere where it's a cut where you can stuff something, it's fire there, man. I'm talking about choppers. Uh man, at one point, man, we found in our vacuum at my mama house, he had a head in the old school vacuum, that vacuum bag, man, a big chrome 4-4. Big chrome 4, this thing was huge. Chrome AK, all kind of stuff. So I can't find no Yola in the house. So I decide, man, I'm just gonna grab one of these, man. Forget it, man. I'm grabbing one of the 5 and 5s when the scraps out of there and hitting it. Boom. So now I'm in the hood and I'm walking around with the fire and all that. Me and one of my little homeboys, Lil Willie, he from out Harbordale, but everybody probably know him from Cross 34th. But Lil Willie, me and Lil Willie was together and we was fucking around with this chick, man, and her brother came out and was tripping, man, and we pulled a fire out of it, but we don't even know. Luckily, we didn't know what we was doing. We point the fire at him, and we put in a slide back, popping the bullets out of it, but there ain't nothing shooting. And finally, the gun jammed up. So I'm like, oh, Lord, we done broke it. And we scrapped. Now we stuck with the gun we think broke. The gun at the bottom, it got the big G on it and then a lock. So I think it say G lock. I think it's some kind of lock. I can't get the clip to come out no more. So I'm like, man, there's some kind of lock on it. It say G lock. I'm stupid like that. I'm green like that. I ain't stupid, but I'm green like that. So now we feel like we just got a rope gun. So we uh we go over here across the street from where our bus stop was. I was going to 16th Street, middle school at the time. I was in the 6th grade, so I had to be about 10 or 11, however old you is when you're in the 10th and you're in the 6th grade. That's how old I was when this happened. But right across the street from my bus stop was off 4th Street in St. Pete, Taylor and Bayside. Right across the street from my bus stop was where these old school dudes, they were older than us. They were young dudes at the time, but the older dudes, Terry Lee, Willie C., Robert Larry, all them boys, that's where they hung at, right across the street. Their sister Carolyn went to school with us. I believe that's her name, Carolyn. But she went to 16th Street with us, so we all knew them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first place me and Lil Willie go with this fire. We go over there, and I wind up hollering at God bless the dead Robert Larry, right? Robert Larry, old time, old school, Harvard legend from St. Pete. We probably gonna do a little something on him, but Robert Larry definitely was a legend in Harbordale during that period, up until his untimely demise when he was taken away from his loved ones. But Robert Larry was over there. We wound up walking up over there, and he the one out there. So I'm like, man, went by the gun. Da, da, da. So he like, where you get this? He like, man, they got a Glock. It's a Glock. So they like, how you got this? So I'm like, what you mean? How I got this, man? I keep fire. So they just like, they like, nah, man, listen, man, only the police got these. And I guess at the time, only the police Glocks. Only the police had Glocks. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's what I believe. And it was plastic. It was all. I was like, I thought it was broke. I tell him, man, give me 150 for it, man. Give me 150, man. He did in his pocket, pull out the bankroll, peel me off the 150 right quick. Boom. Pop the jammed up bullet out of it, pop the clip out, put the bullet back in it, bam. And I'm mad, like, oh man, but I can't be mad because I got me 150. So that was the end of that. But I kept getting Bernard for whatever I could get him for over there, but we wound up getting cool, and Bernard started having all kind of drama because Bernard was violent. Bernard had this homeboy. My first time seeing a gunshot wound up close. Bernard had this homeboy named Tony. So if you Tony from out of St. Pete and you knew the dread Bernard back in the early '90s, we was right across the street from Botley Park on West Harbor Drive in the upstairs apartment. Bernard stayed right there. It's a dude named Tony got shot in the kneecap, right? And when the bullet hit him in the kneecap, it bust his leg all the way down to his ankle. And he had like a V from the bullet hole all the way down his leg. Where, like when the bullet hit it, it just bust his whole leg open all the way down. And the doctors had squeezed it back together and put staples in it. And it just looked so nasty because he would walk around with it. And this was Bernard homeboy who he was running with. And they're like, people were looking for Tony. Tony was like, he was hiding. I don't know I don't know him to this day, but I remember his name was Tony because we was all like, I was legit hanging around them. We eat fish and cook, and you know what I'm saying? I was sneaking smoking weed, but I was getting their weed. But I was chilling with them. But this dude, Tony and Bernard, they had all kind of drama going on over there, and it was alleged that somebody had got unalived over there at Botley Park on the basketball courts back then, you know what I'm saying? But we kind of got up out that neighborhood. I remember Bernard them was on fire, and I remember that's when I remember the big 4-4 and our vacuum cleaner, and he was like, he wanted everybody to have something, so we'll be all right. Bernard was a soldier. Bernard was a dread. He was bald headed, and then he had one little patch in the head, in the middle of the back of his head, where he was trying to grow one dread, right? That's why I call it one dread Bernard, goddamn it. But we wound up moving from out of Harbordale, and my auntie moved out of. We all moved out of Harbordale. My mama wound up. We moved back in the projects. My auntie wound up moving right off 11th Avenue and 9th Street. South, right there by OG Special, about 2 houses down from his little spot right there. But they moved right there. So now Bernard, this one I found out Bernard smoked. Bernard be having all this work, but Bernard is smoking the work too. Bernard smoking the work too, man. So now a couple years done lapsed over this little time period, but we living back in the project. My auntie living not too far from in Harbordale it was. But Bernard gone. Bernard done got addicted to his own supply. And when I wound up bumping back into Bernard, we living in Jordan Park, and come to leave out of my house. If I leave out my back door, you had 22nd Street. The Boys and Girls Club was right behind my back door, right? And then I could come through the little cut, the little field over here, and go to Tom's. Big Tom's was right there. And then you had Harry's Crabs was right there. Later it'll be Lorraine's, right? And then across the street from Lorraine's, the old man, Mr. Moses, and my daddy used to hang right out there, right? And then next to that is some little apartments in the cut. Them apartments still there. They done built all the other stuff around it, but it's some little apartments right there in the little cut. I'm coming through there going to the store one day, and we used to have our little slap heads, or we might have us a couple of JoJo's or whatever. So we'll go through that little cut, and then you could come out, and it's an alley to come out to where Jugs and all of that, and then you just come back around and go up, what that is, up there. Right? I'm going through the cut one day. I see Bernard. Bernard in there stuck. Bernard in there stuck. When I go in there, Bernard got his little pill bottle sitting on the table, but he's sitting there back to back. Back to back. So I'm like, man, you tripping, man. Bernard look bad, man. Bernard, but about 120 pounds, dirty, you know what I'm saying? Stank, all that, man. So I'm like, man, I'm finna go get you something to eat, man. My mom used to cook the big pots, so like, my mom cook 2-3 times a week, man. A big pot of rice and chicken. I bet we gonna eat that till it's gone. Or a big pot of spaghetti. But anyway, I go pile my dogs up, big plate. I gotta try to bounce my dog back and get him from over here because I see he gone. He gone, but he still got it. Now he done partnered up with everybody from city, from St. Pete, anybody from the project know Black Carl, right? Black Carl can vouch for this and tell you I'm talking about and know who I'm talking about. He the only person I know outside of my cousin Alicia, my auntie, and my family that I know Bernard, like in the streets, right? But Black Carl and Bernard done got like this, right? And anybody know Black Carl know the story about Black Carl. Black Carl was like the jack boy in the South Side. Black Carl probably done robbed everybody that wasn't from the projects back then, man. If he robbed you and you was a project nigga, man, you just wasn't that cloth, man. He seen it. He seen through you, man. But Carl can vouch for this, right? Bernard up there. Bernard still got this work, but he's smoking like a motherfucker. So that's why Carl around. But Carl a goon. So Bernard done start to where that whatever he got to do to get that money right, to keep his thing going, he gonna do it. And now he with Black Carl. Black Carl, the first person I ever seen carry literally, Black Carl literally carried a shotgun. That was his scrap he carried. Black Carl, the only motherfucker I see draw a shotgun on you from out his pants. No jacket, no sweater, no none of that. Like it was taped up, it was right. It looked like if he'd have shot it, it might have fell apart. But Black Car kept that shot. But anyway, time go on. I'm back there bouncing back. Bernard trying to bounce him back. And what he'll do is he'll give me a couple of JoJo's out of the bomb. You know, Bernard might have 200-300 JoJo's. He might give me 25 JoJo's and tell me to give my mama some money. You know what I'm saying? Give your mama some, get rid of those and give your mama some money. And my mama can't know about what I'm doing because shit, these bitches gonna come up missing. But yeah, Bernard wind up, him and Carl go through something up at Snow Peak. This before Snow Peak died. 22nd was on his last limbs around this time. No, not yet. But Snow Peak was still popping. The Lions Den, all that up there was still popping. So something happened up there where Bernard wound up getting shot in like the ankle or somewhere. But Bernard couldn't go to the hospital because I think Bernard had snuck over here. So Bernard just thugging it with this gunshot wound. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know whether they got infected or whatever, but it looked terrible. And I used to come up there and try to, you know, my mom used to have little first aid kits and all that. She was into the CNA and the nursing and all that. So I try to fix my dog up with some bandages or whatever. But man, Bernard wasn't seeing none of that, man. And sooner or later, not too long after that, Bernard pretty much just disappeared. My auntie told us that Bernard had got deported, but you know we ain't see Bernard no more. So Bernard, man, if you see this, man, get at me, man. This your dog, man. This little D, man. You know what I'm saying? But Bernard was the first dread I met, man. Bernard had that work, man. If you're familiar with the time that's around the late 80s, early 90s, going into the mid 90s. And I ain't gonna say that Bernard was, but I do know that we had the presence of the Shower Posse in our area. I seen an interview with another boss in our area, Romeo Mathis, who we're gonna do something on the channel. You know, I heard him in an interview saying that his plug was the Jamaican Shower Posse. And Bernard seemed to fit that description, man, because Bernard was definitely a dread. Bernard definitely had that work, you know, and back then it wasn't about having bricks and bricks and bricks of cocaine. There was no money in that. The money was in having crack cocaine, and Bernard had plenty of it. Bernard would have gallon bags of rocks. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that at the time, that's what I thought was the dope game. I ain't know nothing about no kilos and all of that. All I had ever known was you get these big, big rocks, you cut them up into pieces, and you'll sell them for 10, 20, 5, whatever you can sell them for. That's what I know. And then as I got older, and as the game changed, because in the beginning of the game, it wasn't about everybody having no kilos and kilos. And you didn't have to have that to make a bunch of money. You could be a dude buying rocks, cutting them in half, man, and be a kingpin and make tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in that time. Because crack was new. Crack was new. It was hot. You could sell it anywhere. Man, you could be standing outside and just shake your hand like this, and people gonna be like, "You straight?" Hard Bernard, I got a hard Bernard. I got them big as your head, wide as your back. Man, I was there, man. I was there. I seen it before I jumped off the porch. I studied it, and when I felt froggy, I leaped, man, and I jumped off the porch. I never looked back. And Bernard was probably one of the best people I ever met that was in the game. He just got caught up on getting high on his own stuff, man. So that's just the y'all out here in these streets, man. What seemed to be done happen with the game now is it done changed to where they ain't got us, on the crack. They got us on the pill game. So now these dudes out here selling pills just to get high off them, man. Listen, man. The game ain't what it seems. DP, Kingpin Chronicles. Here's the truth. I'm out, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share the videos, man. Turn on your notifications so you won't miss none of the content we got coming, man. Check out our merchandise. We got our new online store on and popping, right? KingpinChronicles.com/shop. It'll be in the description of the video, man. Go ahead and check us out, man. We got a lot of educational material. We got some shirts, and we're gonna keep rolling out the merchandise, man, and put some nice stuff out there, man. Good quality stuff, man. Just like in the streets, man. We ain't putting nothing out there but the best, man. I'm gone. It's your dog DP, Kingpin Chronicles. The game ain't what it seems, y'all. Here go the truth.